Hi, my name is Andrew. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to review a Middle East investors database that I've been working on now for over 150 hours, and you may have seen previous videos on this because this is a very special case. It is going to be the most comprehensive and advanced database of Middle East investors that there is. It includes venture capital, private equity, and VIP investors, and it also includes business development tips for outreach. So this is the first in any database in the sector. And you're going to see more about that in the coming slides. Just a little bit about myself. In the past 2 years, I've helped over 200 clients with their fundraising initiatives, pitch decks, investor databases, and targeting, and more. And you can get more information on my Fiverr profile on the services that I give clients. In addition, I've worked for over 20 years helping real estate groups, corporate groups raise funds. So that gives you a bit more information on my experience. My investor databases include venture capital, private equity, angel groups, investment banks, and more. I also help clients with pitch deck reviews. If you are getting ready to send your investor presentation out, approximately 80% of the presentations that I receive are not suitable to be sent out to investors. So I have a gig on Fiverr. You can check that out as well. So this video highlights a comprehensive database of Middle East investors that can be used for fundraising. Keynotes for database clients, and I'm going to, for people who haven't watched any of my previous videos, this is really key for you to understand. First of all, this database includes a collection of previously created databases and new ones. Databases like this can't be scraped from the internet. Do not believe anyone who says they can do it accurately. It is not possible. I've purchased a large amount of databases from people who say they've scraped databases, and I can say 50% of the links are dead, so keep that in mind. When somebody scrapes a database, they're scraping the good, the bad, and the ugly, so they're not giving you a polished set of work. And of course, there's no refunds on databases, so that's something else that you have to keep in mind. Additional work and filtering needs to be done after you acquire a database. And for example, I'm not your database manager, so this is something you have to remember when you buy a database off me. And lastly, some databases can be considered as off-the-shelf or custom created and refined. This one is a refined database, and I can say with 100% accuracy, you are never going to find a Middle East investors database that is as refined as this one. It's not possible. So what does make this database unique? Well, this database includes key business development fields that will assist users with initial contact with prospects. This includes the following. In this database, I have included key outreach touch points for direct contacts that are known, and contact sourcing outreach approach, and that's for subject and second sentence. Don't worry about that right now because you're going to see that on the Excel spreadsheet that I'm going to show you in the coming slides. But that is what makes this database unique. In short, if you're looking to reach investors in the Middle East, you don't have a lot of experience in outreach, I've done all the work for you. How do I find these investors? I have a master database of over 400,000 verified global contacts. That includes angel investors, family investment offices, endowment funds, pension funds, hedge funds, private equity databases, REITs, Middle East, premium high net worth and ultra high net worth investors, investment consultants, venture capital investment banks. In fact, some of these lists I've been using and updating for over, between 3 and 5 years. And you're going to see one of those as we move further on in this presentation. So what will the final database include? Well, it's going to have Dubai companies owned by royal families, Dubai companies owned by high-profile nationals, key Middle East capital and private equity companies. And who is eligible to acquire this database? This database is for corporate grade and institutional grade clients. And what will the database include? So for this database, it's going to include company name, website, company email address, key contact where possible, and that's where a lot of the 150 hours gets put into it. You can't just scrape this information because, again, you're going to get some old information Telephone number where possible, and description of company, sector, and investment interest where possible. So what type of contacts will benefit from the Dubai Investors Database? Firstly, private equity firms will benefit from identifying potential partnerships or acquisition targets with strong regional influence and backing. Multinational corps or MNCs that want to leverage local insights and connections when considering expansions or JVs in the Middle East. Real estate development companies, that's one of the most popular ones that contacts me for not only databases for the USA, Canada, and the UK, but for the Middle East. Everybody wants an opportunity to collaborate on high-value projects with established local entities, ensuring a smoother market entry. Banking and financial institutions want to gain access to high net worth individual or corporate accounts and potential partnerships in wealth management services. Consulting and advisory firms, that's another one that I get contacted by quite often. They want to enhance advisory roles by understanding the regional market players and their strategies, improving their consultancy offering. If you're a consulting and advisory firm in the Middle East and you don't have this database, you probably are using something that is not allowing you to expand your company's potential. And last, institutional investors who want to explore unique and lucrative investment opportunities with companies that have proven regional success and strong backing. No other database has leading UAE nationals and key links to members of the royal family like this database. So let's look at the database. So one quick slide before we get to the database, and this is something that's really keen if you are looking to buy a database of Middle East investors. Now there are a few groups out there that sell them. I bought most of them. They're all updated, and one key thing they have, and I'm going to point that out on this slide. So this is what this database will not have. Companies with old websites. Every website on my database has been clicked, and if it was a company that had 2017 or 2015, I automatically got rid of it. I don't care how good that company is, but if they haven't updated their website in 6, 7, 8 years, you do not want to deal with them, especially if it comes to raising funds. It does not include accelerators and incubators. There's another database out there on the market. They've got 20 or 30 of these companies that what they do is they're not helping you raise funds. They want to take startups and enroll them in these programs to help them grow their business and charge them money to do pitch decks and this and that. Those are great, but if you're looking to raise capital, they're probably not something that you want. So remember, this database does not include those. It does not include vague investment companies with no addresses. There are dozens of these in Dubai alone that just put up a website with a login form, and they don't really tell you very much about who's behind them. I've eliminated most of those. In fact, those tend to be just companies that collect your name, and then they take that and they farm it off to another company for a commission. So I did not include any of those. Fundraisers that do not provide details on their sector, assets, or teams. In other words, again, these are shadow sites, and there's dozens and maybe even 20 or 30 of these on other databases that I've purchased. I've just gotten rid of them because they're a waste of time. And lastly, fluff and fillers, and basically that includes most of the database or the companies that I've highlighted here on this slide. So keep that in mind. My database started off with 1,000 or close to 1,000 contacts or companies. I've narrowed this down to 325 because what's more important for you if you're trying to raise funds, quality or quantity? And you ask yourself that, and it always will come back to quality. So now we're over on the database section finally. And again, if you've watched the previous videos in this series, you know that I started off with close to 1,000. I think there was about 900, a little over 900. So by the time we clean it up, but it's evolved and it's pretty much almost done. And to start off with, you can see I have the companies listed here. So there's 325. You can see if I go down there, you can see they're all filled in. And as I go across, I've got the country, description, main business interests and preferred sectors, and those are directly off of the company's database, or from other information on the internet that's been provided to help steer you away. There's a ton in here that look at real estate, which is one of the key sectors that people look for when it comes to marketing towards the Middle East. All the websites have been clicked, unlike other databases, and I covered this off in the rest of the video, so I don't want to sound too much like a broken record, but the majority of databases that I purchase, especially in the Middle East, 20-25% of them are leading you to websites that are either old or actually the links don't work. Investment targets. So I've got investment target 1, investment target 2, and that should say investment target 3. But this is basically the sectors that I would recommend that you could approach these on. And again, this is pulled from a bit of AI that I've used. The business type, of course, will tell what type of project this business is. This database is a mix of real estate developers. It has corporations, big companies in the UAE, in the Middle East, and then it also has venture capital, private equity, family offices, and other investment companies. So again, there's a large amount, and it's been covered off in the slides. I've also got parent company, if there's one, or a subsidiary, and their investment territory preference, and again, this just goes from past history, investments they've made, and what their website also says. This is why 150 hours has been put into this database. You cannot scrape this database off the internet. It's impossible. I've also listed their key real estate assets or company investments. So again, this just helps you if you're looking to do outreach, so you have some background. These databases are not meant, or this database is not meant to be spammed. It is meant to be used for professional marketers who are looking to raise funds, period. Email, this is the email of the office. In some cases, even the largest companies will not have a email address, but I've got other ways that you can look at it through other sources. You'll get to that in a minute. You've got their telephone numbers. Now, contact 1, contact 2, and contact 3. I covered this off in another video, but just to make it clear, I've hidden them for confidentiality reasons. I have tried to target the big guys when it comes to these databases. The information is out there through different sources that I've used and different subscriptions that I've used to pull this, or directly from the website itself. If there's a website and it says it's 2023 and it's listing this particular person as the chief executive officer, you've got to believe them. So that's one key thing that I've used. The majority, and I will say the majority of these, I've used that method. And where I haven't, I've scraped from different sources on the internet that find leads, and I've tried to find emails that are 100% valid. Now, no database is going to be 100%, so there are going to be some. If I haven't found ones that are 100% valid, I will use ones that have been considered to be safe. So again, that's something you have to remember when purchasing a database. Contact 2, that means I've gone down to a second level. For example, operations manager, chief operations officer. I'm just going to come back to the title 1 here. If I were to scroll down here, you can see that title 1, founders, chairman, executive vice presidents, head of alternative investments, group head, you name it. I've aimed for the top senior guys, and there's a reason for that. You want to obviously aim for that, and then they can direct you to people who are going to be in charge. But the idea is, in this database, I've got 3 contacts. The second one, as I've mentioned, is always going to be somebody at a second level. Director of sales, for example, is a little further down on the organizational chart. And then the third one is what I've called HR contact or senior admin. And the reason that I've put these in here are very, very simple. Is you want to try to find somebody who you can make a contact with, and HR or admin people are great. If you know the senior contact, fine, you can hit them. But in most cases, you're going to have to use a blend of business development research, and that's why I've included them. Most people who are in HR are very helpful, and it's their job to steer you. But in order to be steered, you also have to do some key research yourself. Now, the nice thing and the good thing about this database and what makes it really, really unique is I've done it for you. And again, 150 plus hours. I've still got a little bit more work to do on this database. Again, it's ended up being around 325 contacts. So I've created on this particular database 2 new fields: key outreach touch points. And this is if you know who the direct contact is. And then the second one is contact sourcing outreach approach. This is if you do not know who the contact is and you want to approach the HR or the head of admin. So let's see how that works in real life. I'm just going to hit the first line, but I've done it for all. If you know who the key contact is, for example, you know who the CEO is, and you want to send that outreach, I've already started you with a bit of a top key sentence you could use. For example, Saudi has a strong track record in urban development in Kuwait. Would you be interested in a unique investment opportunity that complements your portfolio? Well, if you send that to somebody senior, they may ping you back, and that's the key point. Is when they get that email, it's not just a generic blurb that shows that you haven't done anything. In this case, I've done it over 325 of them. There's some key that ties into the earlier fields. Now, this video is long because this is for people that really want to have a database that's going to perform. The second one is if you're going in blind. So for example, you don't have any contacts. So I've included the subject and the second sentence. In other words, you're going to say, "Dear so-and-so, hi, I'm Joe from A, B, and C Investments in the UAE." And then the second line might be, for example, here, let's do the example. Request for direct contact within investment division. And then the second sentence in your email is going to be, "I believe you might be the right person to assist me. We're exploring potential investment opportunities that align with Salia's investment vision. Could you direct us to the person or team member responsible?" Boom. So if you've sent that to HR or head of admin, I can tell you right now in most companies that person's going to say, "That's an intelligent email and I better send it because it's not just somebody trying to spam me for my employee list." So that's why I've included that. And if there's anything that you can take away from this database, is it covers all the bases. It covers the key contacts, what the main business interests in, what they tend to look at as far as a company for investments. Identify some of their real estate assets or the companies they've invested in or subsidiaries, and then again the key contacts. By the way, if you don't have the HR contact, you can still send that letter to the info at. Somebody who picks up that info at is either going to be somebody senior, an admin person, or it could be an HR person in a company that has 3 or 4 roles. So this is really key in the evolution of this database, and you can see that I've done it for all 325, and they're all different. Now they have the same tone, but they're all created different. And again, these are the things that are going to help you when it comes to using this database to supplement your business development, your investor sourcing, and your fundraising. For more information on my database and fundraising services, just click my Fiverr link below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for watching.